Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Jimmy Kimmel Live. This is ridiculous. From Jimmy's house.
Hello, I'm Jimmy. Thank you for watching. What are you looking at? Something weird about my face? That's because it isn't my face. It's a mask. A friend made me a mask of the bottom half of my face. And I have to say, I love it. I think it's great. This will make a great gift for the dumbest bank robber in your life. Anyway, today, Dr. Anthony Fauci testified before the Senate to warn senators, many of whom are ready to get going, about the dangers of opening the country too quickly. Fauci testified remotely because he's under quarantine, which was fun because we finally got a chance to see inside his house, and answered a question from Senator Bernie Sanders.
Are we fearful that if we don't get our act together, as bad as the situation is now, it could become worse in the fall or winter?
I think that possibility does exist. However, and the reason I say that is that when you talk about will this virus just disappear, and as I've said publicly many times, that is just not going to happen.
Wait until his parents get home. They're going to be furious. Fauci told the New York Times yesterday that reopening the country too soon could lead to needless suffering and death, which I think is Trump's new campaign slogan. Fauci and Trump seem to have opposite views of how to handle this. Trump says we have prevailed. On the same day, everyone at the White House was required to wear a mask. So I guess it just comes down to who you believe. The doctor, who's one of the world's leading experts on infectious disease, or our personal pan president.
Do you really think this is the right thing for us to be doing, Ivana?
What will people think?
Let them talk.
Donna.
Ivana. It's wrong, isn't it?
But it feels so right.
Then it's a deal?
Yes, we eat our pizza the wrong way.
Crust first.
Now he's eating our country backwards. Thanks to President Trump, there's a divide now among party lines about whether or not we should be staying at home, which is silly because viruses don't care who you vote for. So I'm going to try to summarize what Dr. Fauci said today with a metaphor. Think of this lockdown as a scab, a big black scab on our nation's face. It's not pretty. In fact, it's ugly. It's awful, but it's doing an important job. It's healing and containing the wound. The best thing you could do with scab is be patient and let it fall off. Unfortunately, there are some impatient people who want to dig their tiny orange fingernails into the scab and rip it off early and eat it. And while that would feel good for like a second, if you rip off the scab and the wound is still bleeding under there, you have to start all over again with a new scab. So what Dr. Fauci is saying is the same thing your mother said. Don't pick the scab. And while our dictator-in-chief continues to pat himself on the back and insist the numbers are going down almost everywhere, they are not. NBC News got hold of an unreleased report from Trump's own pandemic task force that shows the numbers going way up in many spots across the country. The virus is surging across the Midwest and the South. This is from a restaurant in Castle Rock, Colorado, that decided to open on Mother's Day despite an order that bans in-house dining throughout the state. You can see no one was protecting themselves. I guess if it's mom's last meal, you might as well make it delicious. In Clearwater, Florida, demonstrators gathered outside a courthouse to protest the fact that gyms are closed.
There are people out there, their preference is to go to a gym and work out with others and to do classes. And here we see the push-ups.
Well, it looks to me like they don't need a gym. They've got a perfectly good sidewalk to do push-ups on. And this is interesting. At Fox News, which is the little engine behind the back-to-work movement, they just decided to keep their offices closed through June 15th. Isn't that something? Fox News, the ones who are making fun of people cowering at home, is advising its employees to stay home because apparently they don't get their news from Fox News. So it looks like we'll have at least another month of Judge Jeanine smearing her lipstick on like the Joker. At least 2 White House staffers have tested positive for the virus, and as part of increased safety measures there, the president and vice president will keep social distance from each other. They decided to separate Pence from Trump because research has shown that in some cases, the coronavirus can be spread by pets. and they don't want the president to get it. Trump and Pence are being tested every day for the virus. And I know it's a small consolation, but it does bring me some joy to know that every morning those two get a Q-tip rammed into their brains. Today, White House Press Secretary Katie Lee McConnell continued to downplay the importance of testing, even though she gets a test every day, and suggested that there's a simple and better solution.
Testing is not preventative. What is preventative is wearing this mask.
That I am not wearing right now. Even though the president says everything's great, he's also desperate to blame the fact that it isn't on anyone but him. His new thing is Obamagate. He doesn't know what it is, but he's going with it, Obamagate. He's very mad because Obama said the government's response to the virus has been a chaotic disaster. And in an interview with Trump's daughter-in-law, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader, pretended to be very mad too.
I think President Obama should have kept his mouth shut. We know he doesn't like much this administration is doing. That's understandable. But I think it's a little bit classless, frankly, to critique an administration that comes after you.
Wait, Obama is classless? He's joking now, right? I mean, of all the wildly hypocritical things anyone has said about anything during this ordeal, the idea that Obama is classless and shouldn't say bad things about another president, that might take the cake. The tonnage of terrible things Trump has said about Obama, I'd put them all on screen right now, but no one in the world has a big enough screen to see all of them. The screen over the field where the Dallas Cowboys play isn't big enough for all of them. So he had to be kidding. Mitch, you dirty little snapping turtle, you got us again. Meanwhile, this is what Obama's buddy Joe is up to. We're now less than 6 months away from the election, and the onslaught of fundraising emails will not let up. Team Biden sent this one to supporters with what I hope is not their new catchphrase. Show everyone you're riding with Biden. Yeah, great idea. Who else wants to hop in a car with a 77-year-old driver that can't keep his eyes on the road behind the wheel? Riding with Biden. Biden will be the one with his blinker on the whole way. And one more item, this is on the subject of working from home. I've noticed that for some reason, meteorologists, maybe because no one cares about the weather when you can't go out, are suddenly very involved with their pets. And sometimes those pets make it difficult for them to do their work from home.
Saturday, sun and clouds, 53. Sunday, partly sunny with some sprinkles possible late, 56. Hey, look at that. My cat, Charlie, just showed up on the table.
More cold air. 3, 2, 1. Cold air continues across the area tonight. Potential for some frost and freeze for some of us. Warm up, it's going to take...
The maps aren't going to move because he just whacked the computer with his head.
Betty here, this is the Lyons household cat, seems to be enamored of all the lights out here.
3, 2, 1. Maple, shush. 3, 2, 1. After a glorious day across the bi-state area Sunday, clouds on the way in and...
We'll have some lingering showers throughout the day on Wednesday, probably into Thursday as well, as a very slow-moving system comes right across the state of Michigan, and that system could bring us about an inch of rain.
It's a man who has had enough.